I welcome my dear viewers and subscribers to my 147th video of my YouTube channel, Writer Sandanam Speaks. Today is the birth anniversary of the sage G Krishnamurti, endearingly called UG by his listeners and admirers. His birthday, that is 9th July, is celebrated every year across the world in a very subdued way, as UG always remained a private person, shunning publicity. In a way, his birth and death anniversaries are remembered against his wish, as he once requested his close associate, the famous film producer as well as his biographer, Mr. Mahesh Bhatt. Mahesh, nothing should remain after me, said UG. But his admirers and eyewitnesses of UG like me have been ignoring his wish and continue to celebrate his birthday and observe his death anniversary as a mark of love and gratitude. Though I have translated in Tamil Mr. Mahesh Bhatt's two books, G Krishnamurti, A Life and The Taste of Life, I continue to put out videos on UG on both these occasions. This is one among them. While I talk through my YouTube taking up UG's statements, UG's permanent host at Bengaluru, Mr. Chandrasekhar, has been doing a little elaborately amidst select audience on these occasions. UG, like any other sage, emphasized that in nature there is no birth and death. Birth and death, according to him, is only for the temporary thought, not even for the body. Otherwise, UG observes the body is immortal, which means the atomic components of the body on death is dissolved into the source of their elements. Death, UG emphasized, is nothing but reshuffling of atoms, a fact confirmed now by quantum physics. Sages are beyond compliments and criticism. They do not react to it emotionally or thoughtfully. Only those who have not overcome their I or ego react. That is, people like us. The Tamil sage Manikyavasagar in his poetic book Thiruvasakam says, quote, "O wisdom, you are beyond compliments," within quote. Pugalchiyai kadanda bodhame is a sentence in Tamil. Does it mean then that sages do not express their happiness, unhappiness, or anger? Not at all. Seemingly they behave like ordinary men, but unlike us, they act instinctively and do not carry over their feelings. I have seen UG heartily laughing and openly angry, sometimes with me too. But next moment he comes back to normalcy. UG named anger as the expression of energy. There is also a confirmative statement from an old Tamil poem by a woman poet, Avaya. She sings like this: Virpidithu neer kizhiya eida vadupola maarume seerolugu sandror sinam. Meaning, the anger of a sage is like a released arrow, cleaving the water without leaving a watery mark. Here comes a question, which is also today's topic on UG's statement. If sages also are seemingly affected by feelings like any of us, then how is it the entire Vedanta sages proclaim the world as Maya or illusion? For instance, Adi Shankara is called a Mayavadin, the exponent of illusion. But Buddha went one step further and said, the world both exists and exists not, throwing the listeners and readers off balance. But if only one reads between the lines with the right perception and understanding, he will come to the inevitable conclusion that while the sages see the world as it is, we, non-sages, see it as it is not. As discussed in many of my episodes on the Tamil sage Tirumula, while sages look at the world with none of the burden of knowledge, our perception is loaded with our past stored knowledge and prejudices. We look at the world with a prism of this past knowledge. We mistake appearance for reality, but sages see the reality. The classic example is the appearance of snake and the reality of rope. Another example is the illusory appearance of water in a mirage. But the strange thing is, while we see only appearance, sages see both the appearance and reality. Our past knowledge only misinterprets the world, preventing to see the naked world. Once Yuji pressed my hand hard on the small wooden table before us and asked me whether it is hard or soft. I answered, hard, sir. Then followed the puzzling question from Yuji, which entity says it is hard? Waiting for some time for no reply from me, he filled up the silence with the answer, your thought. He also continued, if there is no thought or knowledge of the table, there is a live contact between you and the table, and the name and form vanishes. In Yuji, the chain of thought was snapped when he underwent the calamity within court on his 49th birthday at Sanin Valley, Switzerland. He called it in scientific terms as combustion of thought and biological mutation of the cell. He declared as a matter of fact, this happens to 1 in a billion. Yuji was one such. He clarified the divide between him and us by saying, the world is not an illusion. What you experience through your separative consciousness is an illusion. The reality of the world that you are experiencing now is an illusion. That is all I am trying to say. Within quote. Let me throw some more light on this statement. While we look at the world with a divided consciousness, sages look at it through the one undivided primordial consciousness. While we see everything through our knowledge, prejudices, memory, they see the world without them. The Chinese Tao also supports it with the statement, quote, know everything in this moment and you will know the eternal Tao. Quotation ends. That is, if anybody is able to see in this moment, he will see the eternity. The problem is, we see everything through the spectacle of our dead past and separative consciousness. Out of exasperation, one may ask how to rid of knowledge, prejudices, etc. Desire is the root cause of dukkha, and once one gets rid of desire based on separative consciousness, then you will see thing as it is a reply by Buddha. Next question, why should we see things as it is? The answer is, while our imposed views on things brings about suffering, things as it is bring out joy or ananda or bliss. It is only you who have turned the heaven and earth into hell. On another occasion, Yuji observed. Sri Ramana Maharshi too agrees. If your aim is to walk up the street of wisdom, then the whole world will turn into God. Till we get rid of this worldly prejudiced knowledge, this world will remain as illusion or delusion. Delusion means seeing things as it is not. Whereas for sages like Yuji, Tirumula, Buddha, Tao, Sri Ramana, the world is not an illusion. For that to happen, one must be divinely lucky. Till such time, we may not stop admiring and celebrating the birth anniversaries of the lucky sages like Yuji. Many happy returns of the day, Yuji. Thank you.